It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Don't worry, it's not actually the end of the world. But eventually, it will be the end of all of our worlds and hence the end of suffering. Because then it won't really matter anymore. But rest, reassured, relax. It's not the apocalypse. Don't get anxious. Don't get worried. Don't think too much about your mortality or you will get anxious and worried. Keep calm. Carry on. Despite my intro. My intro, besides any excuse to dance very badly, because I can't dance. But I can because I'm a grown-up and I can do what I want, and to a degree. Everything is to a degree, right? There is no suffering for him who has finished his journey. I've said it before in other videos, but I doubt that you have watched all of my videos. I haven't even watched all of my videos. And I'm putting my hands on my hips because there's this weird green screeny effect going on where it looks like I have some sort of massive thing growing out of my spine. Maybe if I tip my pillow up, it will be better. Those who fail to plan, plan to fail. Anyway, quote time. Clearly ill-equipped for quote time today. But it's been said that life is suffering. Not all of life is suffering. But suffering is guaranteed to all of us. Some degree of suffering is guaranteed to everybody. Life is also beautiful and miraculous and amazing and adventurous and wonderful and awe-stricken. But not all the time. And it depends on a great many things how much suffering you're going to experience. There is the innate suffering that life brings. Things that are unarguably and unequivocally bad. Terminal illness, the loss of a loved one, trauma and abuse. Crises. Real life crises. And then there's just the human experience that living this thing we call life brings us these great existential questions. Why am I here? What is it all about? Interrelating with other people is complicated. Life is complicated. Humanity is complicated. Life is not easy, but that doesn't mean that it is bad. And the level to which you fall on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, whether you have the very basics in life that you require to dedicate any time at all to try to grow and survive and thrive versus survive. The support network that you have. biologically proven that the support network that we have greatly impacts our physical and mental health. It actually impacts our physical health. Loneliness is as detrimental to your physical health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Those that are isolated, especially as we age, tend to die younger. So having not many, but quality community and connection is really important to help to ease your suffering. The level, quantity, extent of trauma experienced and exposed to over the course of a life. And that comes in degrees, because what's one person may experience as traumatizing, another person may not, and vice versa. What the one person sees as simple, the other person sees as traumatic. But the amount of, the earliness of, the extent and continuation of trauma and damage over the course of your life impacts your suffering. Having financial issues, although money doesn't make you happy, poverty, debating between medication and rent, feeding your children, and your car breaks down and now you can't go to work. Poverty, causes a strain. Physical illness, chronic physical illnesses, chronic mental illnesses, how good you are at your emotional intelligence, your coping mechanisms, your capacity to self-regulate, how many tools you have in your belt for insight, open-mindedness, the awareness that this too shall pass. Life is cyclical, and there's a time and a place for everything. Everything you've experienced, good and bad, has become a memory and has gone. And whatever you are facing now will become a memory and will become gone. And it will change. Change in the passage of time are guaranteed. All of these things and many, many more will help you to not add. Oh, and controlling your behavior, your perceptions, your emotions, and your interpretations of events that have happened as they happen, and what will happen to you, among many others, will limit the amount of pain and suffering you feel atop of life's pain and suffering. Nothing is all or nothing. Life is neither all good nor all bad. But there is truth that there is some suffering in life. But life is not all suffering. It's just guaranteed. And you can grow through what you go through. Or at minimum, patiently wait on the other side till you arrive on the other side, knowing with faith and certainty that there will be another side. You can control what you think, feel, perceive, and where you focus in the present, how you react in the present. You can reconsider your past and forgive and let it go. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning. It means not allowing a past hurt to presently hurt you when that past is no longer existing. There are are innumerable ways to remove the additional weight and burden of pain and suffering that we put upon ourselves atop of life's pain and suffering, and seeing life as nothing but pain and suffering is itself adding additional pain and suffering. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. I mentioned this in another video. No matter good or bad, each obstacle that you overcome, each success that you gain, requires effort, energy, focus, attention, maintenance, and struggle. To get it, to keep it, every day. There's work, and life will throw hurdles and things in your way that you never saw coming. But you shouldn't spend your life waiting for the other shoe to drop. And when you're enduring it, don't hurt yourself atop of it by adding to your own pain and suffering through rumination, hyper-focusing on the problem, poor negative health, relationship, employment, character, etc. reactions that could damage you in the long run. Reacting instead of consciously acting, focusing on the problem and rather the solution, losing hope, pulling away from friends, etc. I had a pretty good video to go with this, and then it broke. It just whole internet went down, and little and big, life comes with suffering was kind of a pain in my because I actually liked that video, but I don't really like this one. But it ramblingly, which is a new word I just invented, clearly because it doesn't exist and it's a terrible word. It threw together another video because I'm already in this dress and now in a little bit of distress, but I'm just gonna let it roll off so I don't add pain to my suffering. The only way out of the endurance of this human experience is in our passing. The end of your ride, the end of your trip. Coming to a place where you can accept that life is not going to meet your expectations all the time. Surprises are going to come that are good, and surprises are going to come that are going to kick your knees right out from under you and knock you square on your ass. Working on building up resilience, working on your coping skills, working on things that are going to bolster you for the dark times, accepting that life comes with day and night, good and bad, dark and light. All of these things will help you get through, but you don't really want all suffering to end. Because suffering is inherent in the human condition. And I personally am not ready to be done with the human condition. The road of life is not smooth. It is up and down, rocky and winding. And God forbid, I'm going to quote some Miley Cyrus here, there's always going to be another mountain. Always going to want to make it move. Always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes you just have to lose. Ain't about how fast you get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. I can't sing. I said that before. And I'm so sorry for this video. I had a good video. And I was pretty proud of it. And then, but that is life. Shit happens. But not all the time. And the day the shit stops is the day that we stop. So don't wish for less shit. Wish for better skills to maneuver and to cope with the shit. That's not my quote. Wrong quote. There is no suffering. For him who has finished his journey. I'm sorry, guys, gals, he, she, they, them, anyone else with any other identity that I don't know yet, because I'm not in the loop with all that as much as I should be. Cis gender, if you prefer to self-identify as that. I'm really rambling now. Anyway, yeah, don't. Life is suffering, and a whole lot of other amazing, beautiful, incredible, wonderful, spectacular, happy, gorgeous things. Not just suffering. The day the suffering stops is the day you stop, and you don't really want to stop. Because you miss all the gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful, spectacular things. So next time shit happens, don't dream of less shit. Aim for more skills and resources, internally and externally, to maneuver the shit, the suffering. Don't compound it. And better coping mechanisms to endure it with the least pain possible until the light comes out again. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. Gotta stop singing on my